What if the thing you were most afraid of was not just a fear but a warning? What if every time your body panicked, every time your heart raced, it wasn't weakness but instinct? And what if the people who should protect you laughed at that fear, forced you to face it, and walked away when you needed them most? William Sleator's chilling short story, The Elevator, is not just about claustrophobia. It is about a child whose fear is ignored, mocked, and finally proven terrifyingly real. William Sleator was an American writer best known for psychological horror written for young readers. Unlike traditional horror writers, Sleator did not rely on monsters or gore. His stories are frightening because they feel possible. He focused on childhood fears, power imbalance between adults and children, isolation, situations where escape is impossible. The Elevator is one of his most disturbing stories because the horror grows slowly and ends exactly where the reader wants relief. The Elevator is the story of a 12-year-old boy named Martin. Martin and his father move into a new apartment building. The building is tall, old, and has a small rickety elevator. From the very beginning, Martin is terrified of the elevator. It shakes, it moves slowly, it feels suffocating. But instead of comfort, Martin receives criticism. Now, let us get to know the main characters. First, Martin. Martin is described as thin, sensitive, quiet, physically weak. He suffers from claustrophobia, the fear of enclosed spaces. Martin is not dramatic. He does not exaggerate his fear. He experiences it physically: tight chest, panic, dizziness. Martin represents vulnerable children, unheard fears, and emotional neglect. Martin's father. Martin's father is emotionally insensitive. He believes fear equals weakness, boys must be tough, emotions should be controlled. He constantly humiliates Martin, calling him cowardly and forcing him into the elevator. The father represents toxic masculinity, emotional neglect, authority without empathy. Third, the fat woman in the green coat. She is silent, she is large, she stares. She never speaks at first, she never smiles, she never explains. Her silence makes her terrifying. She represents an unknown threat, predatory presence, fear given physical form. The rising tension. Each elevator ride increases Martin's fear. The space feels tighter, the movement feels slower, the woman's stare feels intentional. She does not blink, she does not look away. Martin feels chosen. The elevator becomes a prison, moving, shaking, unavoidable. The father dismisses everything, act like a man. This phrase becomes a weapon. Martin learns his fear does not matter. The turning point. Desperate to avoid the elevator, Martin chooses the stairs. This is a moment of courage, not cowardice. But fear makes him panic. He falls, he breaks his leg. This injury traps him. Now he cannot use the stairs. The thing he feared most is now unavoidable. The climax. After leaving the hospital, Martin enters the elevator on crutches. His father stands beside him. Halfway up, the father steps out of the 9th floor to visit a friend. He leaves Martin alone. This moment is devastating. The door closes, the elevator moves, Martin is helpless. Then, the elevator stops on the 10th floor. The woman enters. For the first time, she smiles. For the first time, she speaks. Hello, Martin. She knows his name. Then she presses the stop button. The elevator halts. No escape, no witnesses, no explanation. The story ends. Students, let us get to know the themes of this lesson. First, fear as instinct. Martin's fear is not irrational, it is a warning ignored. Second, toxic masculinity. The father's idea of strength destroys safety. Third, powerlessness of children. Martin has no control over his environment. Fourth, supernatural ambiguity. Is the woman real, a ghost, a stalker, fear itself? Sleator never answers. The ending confirms one thing. Martin was right to be afraid. By ending the story here, Sleator forces the reader to imagine what happens next. And imagination is the most powerful horror of all. I shall conclude here, children. The elevator teaches us that fear does not disappear when mocked. It grows, it waits, and sometimes it proves itself real. William Sleator reminds us strength is not forcing silence. Strength is listening. Ask yourself, what fears are ignored because they are inconvenient? If you found this explanation helpful, like, share and subscribe to the channel because some stories don't end, they echo.